champ. Give him something that's some weird counter pick.
If there's a way we could give everyone counter picks, I'd feel much more optimistic. But that's generally not how draft works.
How about you take away Caps' counter pick and you give it a BrokenBlade because the LeBlanc was not it.
Harsh but fair.
That's my executive decision.
They hated him because he spoke the truth.
No more for you, Caps. Now it's BrokenBlade's turn.
You had your turn. We're taking it in turns. So the Bard, the Camille remain banned. Rise this time taken away. Karma, interestingly. So
JackeyLove Ezreal.
Ezreal Karma bot lane would make a lot of sense.
So even with the Karma banned out, they were hovering at 2 just for safety. And I feel like I have liked that trend where a lot of AD carriers will pick something safe bottom lane. Yeah, the mages or like Ezreal or something, and then you can get a roam support too. But just one-shotting a Jarvan really early on before you see carries with safety now makes me think they were hovering Ezreal like, hey, we're going to pick Jarvan, and then are you going to take something with a jump to get out of Cataclysm? Because usually when you first pick Jarvan, enemy team picks carries with jumps, and Yunara Lulu is a very common answer into the early Jarvan here too.
Interesting. Yunara fell kind of off completely in priority domestically for us in EU in Split's past, but rising back up here. Still one of Hansama's most played, and obviously the Lulu alongside it is a powerhouse duo. Has a bit of mobility, tied, of course, to the ultimate, however. But I'm looking at Tian in this game. He was good last time around and now has even more tools to impact early on.
And he is a very good Jarvan. So definitely have cause for concern. Burst champion to go along with your Jarvan. That looks pretty good. Creme's Aurora following shortly here. They're not deviating much at all from priority picks. From their priority ports here for TES, and it looked very good in game number 1. So no reason, nothing necessary for them to do so. Interesting. Slamming the Gnar would make you choose. I like when teams do this. When they're on that side, okay, they're not actually going to go through with it.
They're thinking about it.
You would slam both solo lanes, and then you say, your opponents can only counter one of them. So now G2 are like, well, we can only counter one before the next rounds of bans come in. So you have to choose. Are you going to pick the Gnar, which they were hovering? I feel like TS keep on hovering. They're like
teasing.
They keep on daring you with the hovers before they lock what they, because Gnar obviously is going into Renekton, but not so much there. Well, let's see. You get to choose. Do you want the Gnar or do you want Caps' answer into the Aurora? And they go for Caps again, this time with the Ahri.
Doubling down. Of course, Ahri, I think, a champion that even if you fall behind a bit more has some more reliable utility, some more reliable playmaking here. Need to see what the rest of the map looks like for G2 Esports. Bot lane kind of tells us a story of scaling of later game team fights, whereas TES, very clear story as to what their comp wants to do. They're going to push their ultimates, they're going to dive on you, and they're going to kill you. And now G2 trying to take away some of the strong potential bot lane answers. Would be very nice for Hansama and Labrov to take control early on with a pick that scales better. The obvious ideal is to take away the Caitlyn, but Poppy also going to get taken out of the pool for SkewMond. I think a really great choice when you already see so many dash-heavy champions.
The Poppy value right now is quite high.
Yes, it is.
So that's definitely a good defensive ban. Then the question is, does ZUIAN even care? Is he just like, BrokenBlade, he can pick whatever he wants, I don't care, into my Renekton, because, you could do a Gnar, you could do a Vayne into it. After what we just saw, I don't think people have confidence in BrokenBlade Vayne into it, so maybe he just goes tank into it. Cassante or Sion or Gragas or something like that to do a nullifying pick on the top side. That would probably make people more comfortable because they have a Yunara Lulu, and you're going to need somebody to help face check for vision. Lulu cannot do that herself, so it's going to have to be a BrokenBlade pick or a SkewMond pick. So maybe they're just going to say, you know what, it's all good. BrokenBlade's just going to pick a tank, and they opt to ban a jungle instead.
Baiting, hovering this Nocturne, which makes me a bit nervous. You mentioned it already. Who's face checking? Who's leading the charge?
Well,
G2.
If they do that, BrokenBlade's got to do the exactly one of those tanks I was talking about. There
Yeah.
Okay, so they lock the Cassante, and then now it does come back around to Jackie. So into Yunara, one of the earliest counter picks that emerged that I actually really liked was the Aphelios. Because of the green gun contesting level 1 as well and being good scaling, but they can just go the range, just go the poke. Ezreal here as well. Interesting. They're going to get some more guaranteed engage too with the Neeko. So Neeko, Jarvan, and Aurora, pretty good opportunities for flanks, pretty good trifecta of engage here.
And a bit of flexibility for fengyue if he wants to play more for the bot lane 2v2 or maybe leave JackeyLove. Ezreal, a really nice champion to have if you want to be roaming, if you want to be more active on the map. But there's the ZUIAN. You talked about seeing it last time. We had to wait till game 2, but more tools for SkewMond to impact the map early on, more CC, a little bit more setup, and definitely some stuff that can help mitigate that long-range Ezreal damage as we go later into this matchup.
Yeah, and it's a jungle champion that loves playing with Lulu. So also greatly benefits from the Lulu pick here with the Lulu Yunara lane. Very nice for ZUIAN to also be a pretty good recipient of some of those buffs, and we'll see. I thought in the previous game, I think SkewMond was probably the best player, because even with how far they were getting behind in some of the scenarios, he was still able to get to priority targets, kill off the Varus, and sometimes one other, sometimes not. But we'll see this time around if G2 can clean up those solo lanes, Drakos, because I think that is priority number 1.
That is the big question. And of course, if they are able to get through the early laning phase, if we see less volatility, I think fans instantly, that faith going to start to come back, right? But if we see the same thing repeat, a lot of that optimism for this team, for this lineup, for the success that they had at first stand, the expected success that they could have at this tournament starts to dwindle, starts to fall away. It is only their first series on this stage, but when you're playing against a TES lineup that it seems like might have been pretty underestimated based on their immediate explosive performance on stage, we definitely wanted to see a bit more here. To get ready now to load into game 2.
I mean, G2 are talking about they want revenge for getting eliminated from Worlds last year, but I mean, now you need to get revenge for game 1 of even this year, what we just played. So let's see the turnaround. They're making a little bit of an incursion here, and it's going to be mirrored wards for both sides on Raptors. So pretty standard jungle vision for each.
That it is.
And that jungle vision is going to allow them to surmise the normal kind of paths here. And it is going to be opposite starts again, and it is going to be TES again, pathing towards bottom side. As actually, Jarvan is leashing the blue buff. Look, he looks like he's going to go for an invade, because he's leashing the blue buff to the other side of the river right now. So Tian is going to go for early invade here on Jarvan. I do like this.
Creme already up a pot in terms of trades overall in the mid lane too. Might go for the gank mid lane. Hansama forced to barrier as they back off. JackeyLove getting some extra attack speed.
All right, so he had a little bit of look there towards the Ahri, does steal away the Raptors, and they can't 100% say, oh yeah, it's been long enough right now that we for sure. The trading continues pretty heavily down here. They can't say 100% since the Jarvan did technically do, that's about the time that you would expect from a full 3 clear, even though he only did 2 camps. They can press tab, they can look at it and see 2 camps down instead of 3 camps, and they're gonna say, something a little bit fishy here. But it's gonna be fishy on both sides, because ZUIAN is coming down too. So they saw him on the ward on Raptors, and now Skew is coming behind.
2 flashes, but no other defensive sums
Jackie
available.
Right.
fengyue, fake Jackie, real Jackie! He's back. Gonna be okay. Labrov, a lot of damage there. They're zoning them out of the lane. No TP this time around for JackeyLove. But the wave not pushed forward, so should still be able to make it back pretty quickly. Of course, checking in on the international assist leaderboard, you can see Caps 1 away from passing Ming. Credit to kind of his tenure as a player, but obviously getting achievements like this in a series where you've lost the game, if you're not also winning the games, it doesn't always feel fantastic. It's a clean charm, Q flash through, flash back from Creme. Neither side going to get anything else. Flash for flash traded. Tian on the way in, though. Caps now in trouble. Labrov might be a little bit too late. The extra shielding coming in. Pix helping as much as she possibly can. As the charm takes Tian under tower. As Tian may be set to fall. Labrov there to finish the time. Dragon Strike doesn't get the kill, but the standard does. First blood, crucially, to G2.
Oh, Caps wanted those double buffs. He wanted that first blood, buddy. He really, really did. He does get it, but the counter kill. Tian with his dying breath, he gets out his Q, and then he gets out his E, and it's enough. Labrov had a good roam there to make that even possible for G2. Still, Caps does get the kill credits, does get that bonus gold, so going to be a much better start for him in the mid lane individually.
He's blasting one. Hansama in trouble. He stepped forward, took too many autos. The blooming burst, the Q doing so much damage.
Yeah, just on the outside. He walks up there a little bit too much. presumptuous here into the big minion wave as well. Nice punish from fengyue and Jackie. And that is going to be TES retaking that gold lead even after that first blood. Tian's back for the second spawn of the Raptor camps. He does have the respawn timer perfectly for it, so comes back, yoinks those away. And that can have detrimental effects on the mid lane matchup too when you're constantly taking away enemy Raptors. Top side though.
BrokenBlade, Q3 back, Pathmaker.
Good setup.
Takes ZUIAN back under tower. Keep in mind, Tian is on the way. SkewMond debating if he can follow. Wisely backs off. Don't think he had information on Tian, but he will spot him now. Maybe a little bit too late, however. Flag and drag. SkewMond able to dash back to the minion wave and hold on. Tian doing such a good job of matching SkewMond on that play to ensure that ZUIAN could just continue to push here.
Ooh. And then look at that too. You saw on the mini-map, another roam from Labrov. Every time he resets, he's coming out mid lane. They just used the standard to cancel the recall. Are they going to dive BrokenBlade? SkewMond sprinting back to top lane. All of his camps are in the bottom lane. Even if he shows up, this is devastating. BrokenBlade? Yeah, because it's not like they're going to be able to get a kill here or anything. It's just to ensure that BrokenBlade lives. So while SkewMond does kind of defend his boy there and make sure he doesn't go down or anything, as you said, he's going to have a long walk before he gets any income.
When we talk about this team, I usually think of Tian and JackeyLove just because of the history they have together, but Tian and ZUIAN are an incredibly terrifying duo. The way he's playing on the pressure that ZUIAN already had in that top lane 1v1, really making it that much harder for BrokenBlade or SkewMond to get active on the map. And
we talked about the impressive international debuts of ZUIAN and fengyue as ZUIAN pops ult, pushes BrokenBlade back. He wanted to take advantage of the 6-5 level discrepancy there. It's also fairly impressive for Tian this year because split number one, as we said, he wasn't even playing for a team. And then coming in here on TES and being able to have such a good showing from him. So wait a second, SkewMond though is gonna meet up with him as well. Not gonna actually have a confrontation this time around, but bottom side now again gonna be the focus. And Tian, yeah, he coming in here in split 2, especially in the beginning of the split. Really, really good performances from him, and see how well they can continue it here.
Anyway, Labrov not afraid to walk forward once he sees some of fengyue's cooldowns fade away. As long as the root isn't involved, that's going to be the all-out coming in from BrokenBlade in the top lane. Caps now chasing as well. ZUIAN immediately flashes, respects the potential for the charm to come out on Caps, but that's Caps' ulti down as well as BrokenBlade's.
Okay, with that roam, what can Creme do?
Oh, Caps.
Should be fine returning to lane here. Creme was looking like he was going to take kind of the inside route, maybe try and push him off. Does get at least a very good trade for himself. Nice unanswered trade there from Creme. Gets his whole electric proc and everything.
Charm just for the cannon. And a small lead for TES as bot lane just continues to scrap here. Cole is going to give Hansama, or at least keep him close in terms of overall gold, as Jackie did go back and opt for the tier, but at least the pressure for now in favor of G2. Haven't been able to convert it into a Drake. SkewMond doing what he can to stay even in XP, as he is just a little bit behind Tian, who's about to tick over to level 6, and when he does, it's going to make things a lot harder for the side of G2. If he's aware of the flash timing on Caps, then he knows it's easy setup with that Cataclysm.
Yeah, definitely a little bit scary with how much Tian has been around mid.
Drag, he knows he's got no flash. He's been tracking the ultimate, which means Caps has nowhere left to go. Weirding to finish it. TES again, lethal in the early game.
Tian constantly around that mid lane. You're feeling it, Drakos. Tian makes it happen under the tower. They get the kill on the Caps.
With the Fnatic J4 is just insult to injury.
Look at that flash timer. It's got a couple more seconds on it too. That thing's gonna come up just after when you need it.
And it's just good, good diligence from whoever times the summoners and the Ahri ultimate, right? To be aware that there's this incredibly small window of opportunity to essentially make a guaranteed play around mid lane. Creme with flash with ulti up. Continue to make plays of his own as fake JackeyLove. Credit to fengyue. I've been tripped up like 5 times by him being JackeyLove this game. As ZUIAN and BrokenBlade once again going toe-to-toe. ZUIAN just using this ulti to keep the pressure up.
All right, G2 going to try and get some objectives for themselves, though. Down 1,000 gold here in the early stages is just going to be a trade as Tian goes for the grubs on top side, but SkewMond will finish up that dragon number 1, similar to last game, and they've got a lot of vision preemptively placed by Labrov through the red quadrant, so they're going to go take a little bit more, but rest of TES are coming to snap the door shut.
They know they're just waiting in the brush. Red buff is the name of the game. G2 hoping to do this fast enough to get out without a fight. And thus far, they're able to do so. Would have been at a pretty difficult position given all the AoE ultimates available, but good that they're able to get that. Get something back as Tian's already moving up to the Scuttle Crab. Charm buffered out by Creme. Well played for the 1v1 trade.
I wonder if they want to fight this. The 2v2. The mid-jungle 2v2 has been so fun, Drakos. Let's see about this one. Tian does indeed at least want to poke around. Creme had to finish up the rest of his minion wave, so his dueling partner was not there for the initial scrap, but here we go for part number 2.
Looking for the fist fight. Dragon Strike. Spears missing left and right. Hitting for a bit more damage, but both sides backing away. It does feel a little bit personal sometimes.
Always. I mean, jungle's always personal, dude.
Tian going back in. Thought SkewMond was going over the wall. SkewMond still with double buffs. Has already marked the grubs.
Look at the mid lane. Creme's moving first, too.
That's going to be big. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, 1v1 fight breaking out. Wild Growth already used. SkewMond flashing away from the Cataclysm damage is pretty crucial as Hansama backsteps. JackeyLove not able to Q through Labrov. Importantly, Hansama ulting. Flash back from Labrov. Blinking health bars on both members of G2. Help pick shield coming in. JackeyLove drops. fengyue is next. 2 kills for the G2 bottom lane.
Oh, they saw the teleport behind them, so they knew they had to run into it. Now, topside.
BrokenBlade, no mana. No hope of an escape. EQ, flag and drag combo. Creme coming in to try to pick up the kill credit. Initial skills dodged out. BrokenBlade just buying as much space as he can, trying not to give him too much time with the tower. Is Creme going to grab the kill in the end?
Okay, Wild TS again. They get a kill onto BrokenBlade this game, and they do benefit there. I think that was still very beneficial for G2 to use that teleport for Cap's bottom side. So then Jackie and fengyue walk themselves into those extra kills, and getting something for Hansama there. Wait a
Labrov wandering up. Secret SkewMond following. Nope, just harassing.
All right, minions dying to tower there as well, though. It's a little bit of extra value lost there. But Hansama getting some kills for G2, that is a blessing, okay? That is a huge blessing in this game. They need this Yunara to be strong in order to have a good win condition for themselves. Buff up Hansama, getting those kills. We'll see if that does give them an avenue to even up this series. Because, again, BrokenBlade was kind of focused down and punished again by TES. Here's another look at the beginning. fengyue had the good initiation, and they used everything. And initially, TES, yeah, we're winning it. They're winning this. It looks good for them. They go in for the flash plays to follow. But as soon as they know the teleport was coming down behind them.
Fighting ZUIAN. ZUIAN just too strong. No, the help picks. Labrov again! This man is always exactly where he needs to be. It's not enough to get the kill back on ZUIAN, but it's enough to keep Hansama alive for a brief moment.
ZUIAN gets the minion wave. Nicely done from him. You're saying it, Labrov here. The ambulance around the rift for G2.
Ulti. BrokenBlade will be dead again.
They need another ambulance, Drakos.
They only got one ambulance on the team, and there's a lot of people in need.
Call another ambulance and wait a second. Okay.
They don't want this.
Big teleport.
I don't think they want the rematch, though. Yeah. I think that they would like to back away.
I think BrokenBlade needs his own ambulance on speed dial for this series.
Dedicated ambulance. Seems fair. And again, we mentioned before, we wanted to see the solo laners on the side of G2 step up. That might be the key to victory. Instead, it is the bottom lane. It is Hansama and especially Labrov.
Can they get
clutch on this shielding? Getting ZUIAN would be massive. Nice wild growth to interrupt the slice and dice, and it means a clean kill onto the top laner of TES.
Okay. I mean, SkewMond does take. I thought they were going to give another one to Hansama. SkewMond takes it. I mean, Xin also, it is going to be good, beneficial to have the Xin in a strong position too. As we said, Lulu can also help out in a lot of the fights, buffing up Xin too. But let's see here. Trying to fight back is G2. It's still that TES are taking more across the map on the other side.
It's a very similar story to Game 1. In Game 1, it was SkewMond on the Olaf who was getting things back. This time around, it's G2's bottom lane, but it's the same core story of TES always trading up, getting a tower while you're getting scraps, 1 or 2 kills. So it's good to keep it close, but not good enough to get G2 in an advantageous position.
Yeah, TES had been really good, just leveraging even more on this bottom side and constantly keeping the deep wards for themselves so they can make the repeat play. Tower does go down. First tower bonus is very meaningful still too. And now Creme their target. I mean, Aurora is very hard to make plays on, especially with Flash.
Rocket Belt, Flash, Between Worlds. Yeah.
Dragon, though, they're looking for the setup here.
Meanwhile, on the top lane, BrokenBlade going all out. ZUIAN popping the Dominus. Ulti for ulti thus far. Q3 ready to go. Hoping to get the pullback under tower. Pathmaker unstoppable. Good damage back from BrokenBlade. Gonna find the solo bolo with the Q flash. Getting a bit of respect back after that game one. ZUIAN overconfident as Tian moves in and manages to steal it. Double knockup coming in from fengyue. Creme looking for a little bit of the chase. Ulti still there, ready to go between worlds as Hansama has that blinking health bar. Will finally fall. Caps, 3 stacks on the ulti. Hoping to outplay, hoping to dance around them. BrokenBlade first to the fight. Labrov living for far too long, but the charm goes wide. TES on the retreat. Back into the mid lane. Caps health bar blinking. G2 going to be forced to back away. But the Drake going to the side of TES.
Just as G2 get a little hope with BrokenBlade's heroics under his tower, it gets cut down. Tian steals the dragon, and they also take the extra kills on the other side of the map. Just reversing the story this time around. It's BrokenBlade who gets the advantage in the kill up there, bringing ZUIAN into the tower with his Q3, and then nice W afterwards too from BrokenBlade as he expects the stun. Here we go, right into it, and the tower shot enough to finish it.
Good, well played. Does use the flash, but started to get it. But here in this play, the steal so massive for the side of TES.
Yeah, let's take a look at the burst damage. EQ's in. Boom, yoinks it away from SkewMond. And I mean, he had upgraded smite. So upgraded smite diff right there. And then the ensuing fight after able to take the jungler down first after yoinking it is quite good for TS2. Because even though the extra person comes, BrokenBlade here with the large shield, the teleport from Cassante having won his individual matchup up there, they weren't able to chase down any extra.
And the fights aren't done yet. Caps waiting off the side, going over the wall, looking to lock up fengyue. Might have thought it was ZUIAN, but will slow down the play at the very least. Dominus now popped. Rift Herald picked up, stolen by SkewMond, but no one can grab the eye. G2 on the retreat as JackeyLove starting to stack up the rising spell force. The attack speed increasing. In the midst of the entire fight, it's the ulti once again coming in for Creme. G2 trying to hold on, but TES taking over. Creme on a rampage. JackeyLove finding one as the chase continues. fengyue cosplaying Creme, stepping up. G2 zoned away from their own tower. The ulti pop for Hansama, not enough to shift things away as TES now set to take the top lane tier 1 as well.
Oh, what a beautiful fight there from TES. That re-engage from Creme. Huge damage to set them up, and Tian goes right through with the Cataclysm. They're going to be able to get a tower on top of the team fight victory.
Caps hoping maybe someone overstays, just focusing on clearing out this wave, but now a 3,000 gold difference. Tian and ZUIAN ready to punish Caps. If a flag and drag might connect with the charm there, it's a little bit difficult. And Hansama, it was a 1,000 gold lead when the Cole procced. Now only down to 500 as JackeyLove picking up so many assists, getting more involved. Caps desperate to be the difference maker. You can see trying to force that 1v1 kill. But G2 once again steadily falling behind. ZUIAN might be a little bit less clean than he was in the previous game, but it's still done such a good job building up that individual advantage.
All right, teleport up to the top side too. He's going to teleport right up there as Caps finishes his wave. And Caps doesn't have much left. No flash, no teleport,
TP.
no ult.
JackeyLove, on the other hand, might have stepped a bit too far forward in mid lane. Caps getting tricky. ZUIAN, duped. Movement speed. Oh no, the minions are there. He's going to double dash. Charm going wide. Devastating. Caps praying for the W cooldown instead. The flash 40 at least gets the flash. A few more seconds on the charm. Ruthless Predator there. Down goes Caps. Almost had the escape. It's ZUIAN not falling for it. It's Hansama and Labrov. Again, the story of G2. Someone is falling as someone else is desperate to just recoup that loss.
Look how much pressure Hansama and Labrov have had in this mid lane, though. You mentioned it as they force JackeyLove out. Now they're going to force fengyue out, and that means gold. Yeah, you don't kill those players, but you get tower plates. That money is critical here for the Yunara Lulu. Hansama, can they be the carries? Labrov has been, now it's dangerous for him, though. Labrov has been quite good in the right place a lot of times at the right time there for him, saving Caps sometimes, saving Hansama sometimes. And they are going to need that later. Tian continues to take away jungle camps.
Oof. And you can see TES aren't lacking any damage. 50% of Hansama's health bar disappears on a single skill connecting. Root into the Q. JackeyLove, the Mystic Shot. We mentioned it in game one. The pressure on a player when they're so far ahead. Then it was ZUIAN on the Ambessa. This time around, it's Hansama. Not because he is so far ahead, but because he is the single member on the team with an advantage over their opposition. Getting that second item. there's a lot of pressure on him and Labrov to carry out these fights because the rest of the map just don't really have the gold to do it.
And that second item, the Fiend Hunter Bullets, that's huge burst damage. So you can make very quick plays with the Yunara there. He's got Flash, he's level 11 with his 2-item Power Spike. That is primed for heroics, for the possibilities. However,
Creme sneaking in, the weirding won't connect. The other with a twofold hex. If Hansama had misstepped there, Tian was ready to follow up.
yeah, you have to respect the burst damage. Speaking of burst damage from Creme, 6 stacks on his Dark Seal here with the Aurora, so you really do have to respect it. You also, if you're Hansama, you have to have one of your teammates marking fengyue. Somebody has got to mark this Neeko. If that Neeko gets a flash proto belt play onto Hansama, I think that just crushes the fight for G2. They really need to have a priority, warding your flanks, somebody get eyeballs on that Neeko and keep her out of the fight. Hopefully the Cassante would be able to do it.
The observers are teasing us, hinting at maybe where fengyue could be. Invisible from behind, the knockup is there. Hansama cop of the fall is not there, crucially. Hansama free to unload for a brief moment, but Tian just jumps right on his head as Creme goes between worlds, knocking down G2, the only Fed member. Not enough when TES laser in on that target. G2 obliterated.
ZUIAN in game 1 and fengyue game 2 here. They're styling on the international stage. We say you need to mark this Neeko. You need to, and look at that, right in the back line. He does get to the Yunara and the Ahri Drakos. Not only do they delete the Ahri, they quickly delete Hansama afterwards. And they just annihilate G2 in this team fight. It's over almost before it even starts.
It's just devastating. You can see frustration on the face of G2. They know what happens. They didn't mark the flanker. They understand exactly what went wrong, but it's not going to change things now. The Red Bull Baron power play, already 900 gold in the favor of TES, a 6,000 gold advantage, empowering them. More items are completed across the board, but ZUIAN.
I mean, hey, Solo Bolo!
We'll take that, another one.
That has not been happening.
I do appreciate that ZUIAN has given us his entire LPL story in 2 games, though, because this is who he is as a player. He is always aggressive. He is always flashy, but as you know from playing with players who are like that, from watching them on streams, it is a double-edged sword. He can make a montage, but he can also make some mistakes.
Also, if you're given one back at this stage, well, Caps could get an objective bounty on top side. I don't think SkewMond here wants to like full send us to do anything on the Dragon, but objective bounties are what built into the game for comebacks, okay? For this explicit purpose.
Just for EU and our hopes. I mean, you can see how important the objective bounty is because it was 900 positive on the Red Bull Baron power play. Now it's negative almost 700. And a lot of that is the tower plus the additional value from that bounty.
Yeah. Okay, so take a deep breath here. You've got a Medjai's on the map. Creme is upgraded 10 stacks, so you deserve the upgrade there, Creme. I mean, Creme has just been playing so good. If you combine game number 1 and game number 2 here, this man is out of control.
Yeah.
You really can't ask for a lot more from him. He has been superb, and so you deserve to upgrade. Medjai's completed for him. He is a terror on the map because the burst damage from this champion is going to be problematic for literally everyone on G2. And they've controlled the jungle as well, keeping that vision control through the bottom side. ZUIAN wants another piece of Caps. Let me get a rematch.
Fight me again, 1v1 this time.
Rest of the team, you deal with the game.
You deal with
okay?
that.
You got Baron.
I took down BrokenBlade. I want the next one. Ignore the fact that he got solo killed by BrokenBlade. But Tian, the other big threat here, you saw it on the Coinbase gold grind, so far ahead individually. And for G2, the unfortunate reality is the combination of the Jarvan and the Aurora is just too much for any single member to survive reliably. TP coming into mid lane. Creme has arrived, extra needlessly large rod on top of the 10 stacks in the book. Man is on the hunt for more pages.
They have more books, more gold, and more experience.
Yeah.
On TES side.
They are stronger and wiser. There is not a lot of edge left there. It's
the brain and the brawn.
The brain and the brawn. And as we saw, Hansama's damage, 2 items was solid earlier, but as the enemy team is starting to crest towards 3, he really needs at least a 3rd item. 4 or 5 autos hitting Tian and only taking about 15-20% of his HP is not what you want to see if you're a G2 fan.
Yeah, it's really difficult because you're also outranged with the Ezreal poke. So TES here have a lot of advantages. How many of these blue buffs has Tian taken away? I guess not this one, at the very least. I think he's got at least 2 or 3 so far this game. SkewMond, though, is going to be able to save that one, even though Tian comes in for another cheeky steal, calling for JackeyLove's Ezreal ult, too, at the same time.
And I got to say, Tian with the lead is terrifying. This man walks into your jungle like he's got 5 people behind him all of the time, even if he's on his own. And you can see G2 are respecting it because they don't have the vision and they don't have the gold to commit a ton of resources on trying to kill the Jarvan. And Tian's just reading it so well and always just walking right up in their faces.
Yeah, I mean, all those narratives of underperforming on international stages, like follow JackeyLove and Tian to a degree, but like both of those players won the world championships fairly early on in their careers, and that's why.
The reason it's so devastating is because the ceiling is so high.
Yeah.
Peak Tian, domestic Tian is a terrifying player. World champion Tian, a terrifying player.
And right now, today.
And right now, today. G2 were praying for, you know, the curse of top esports to be alive and well in this particular matchup, and it absolutely is not. TES dominating G2 thus far. Is a bit of a fight of a scuttle crab. Labrov has to be careful. fengyue, G2. Top prio there, mid-wave relatively even. Willing to concede us some resources in the bottom lane is BrokenBlade, at least going to take away the blast cone. But it's a very similar situation to game 1. We once again have ZUIAN pushing, mostly uncontested on a side lane, while G2 try to use a man advantage to get some control somewhere else on the map.
Yeah, he's kept his 2-level lead, even though, you know, Caps was able to get the kill on him. Still, the extra experience, very, very powerful lead for him. JackeyLove as well. It's a little bit less, not the full 2 levels, but still very powerful there for the Ezreal to be on 3-item power spike. This is very, very juicy. So Jackie has a lot of freedom to work with here on this champion. And again, the annoyingness and the range of the poke from him is pretty problematic for G2 in trying to set up and trying to retake vision. Like, their jungle is always dark, so they're always taking little bits of chip damage from TES before the fight even starts.
Caps,
and then
fishing for the charm. Does not connect as G2. Just a bit of a trade, just a bit of a scrap in the mid lane. JackeyLove not afraid to just shift forward, drop a couple more Qs. You highlight it so well, right? It's pretty hard for them to get on top of JackeyLove, and he's in this advantageous position where the world doesn't rest on his shoulders. If he survives, if they burn a bunch of ultis, his team has more than enough damage, so he gets to play a little bit more aggressive and with a little bit more safety, knowing G2 has to focus his frontliners first.
Okay, so BrokenBlade wanted to force a play onto... okay, nice teleport out. Nothing can interrupt him. Nice. Yeah, the whole team was coming over, so BrokenBlade used his flash, and ZUIAN does respect the flash and respect the rotation of all those G2 members. The other cost of that, of all your team rotating, is you're losing priority towards mid lane and towards the dragon. Yeah, you weren't fighting that dragon any day of the week anyway, but nice escape.
Doesn't matter that he used the barrier, he lived.
Better safe than sorry.
Most certainly.
Usually.
I mean, we've seen, there's occasionally some hitboxes that connect on you and you're like, oh, I didn't, there's a little extra on the side of that. Little.
Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Jackie, who's like always like, nah, I'm gonna dodge this. I'm not using spells.
Which again, when you're the 217 Ezreal, who's was focused so heavily early on and might have made it 1 or 2 mistakes, you're still feeling pretty good.
I mean, that death cap is pretty close for Creme, and he's about to get level 16 too. Oh, here we go, engage.
SkewMond caught out here, dash back in. Using the ultimate, but just running back into the enemy team. Labrov already forced to ulti on his own way, but fengyue again! Right into Hansama, immediate Mikhail's flashback from Hansama, hoping to live a little bit longer. BrokenBlade trying to create as much space as possible, but Creme goes between worlds, goes invisible, and looks to hunt Hansama down. Creme and Tian together, tearing down G2. BrokenBlade and Caps on the retreat, all out, about to fade away. The damage will fade. Hoping to hold the line a little bit longer. Tian taking his time. BrokenBlade unstoppable with the Pathmaker. An extra shield from the footwork as Creme and Caps looking for the 1v1. Charm going wide is devastating. Creme trying to get past the Orb of Deception. Caps chunked out, knocked out, an ace for TES.
Oh man, Creme does so much damage. And this fight actually gets so scrappy how G2 are able to actually get kills at the beginning. SkewMond flashes over to Labrov to get the Lulu ultimate, to get the knock up there. Then you had that counter gauge from fengyue, but once BrokenBlade and Caps actually get there, they do get some very quick kills, deleting the Ezreal, taking down Jackie, then Tian and Creme, they can still use the flash from Tian to make sure they're going to finish off that Yunara and get the kill.
SkewMond, jumping face first in. fengyue, they're waiting, no play's going to happen. But that was a crazy sequence of play, and once again, ZUIAN, 1, 4, and 5 did so much work. He started that play, and he's the person who forced the initial cooldowns out of Hansama.
How much AP does Creme have right now with his 22 stacks Medjais and his death cap? I mean, this Aurora, the burst damage is insane. Tian is also, of course, has all the authority to go in with the Guardian Angel and the extra life. So yeah. He's like, I can force the fight for you, buddy. I'll get the setup, and you delete the kills.
And this is the nightmare point for Aurora, because the ulti alone will do so much damage that even if he whiffs 1 or 2 abilities, he's still done his job in a fight. And he hasn't been whiffing really any of the key abilities in these fights. So for G2, again, it feels like the same story as game 1. Outclassing some individual matchups, forcing plays left and right. They're determined to force this Baron, but ZUIAN is coming in behind them. Hansama caught in the Cataclysm. Immediate ulti going to be popped, holding on for dear life as Creme manages to escape. But again, a Pop Blossom. The rookies on this TES lineup are dismantling G2 Esports.
Is that going to be the fight where they run through the base now? Rest of the team is going mid. Tien's fishing around to stop some recalls. They can't quite get the interrupt, though. Caps is going to run the long way. Will this be enough defense? It's just BrokenBlade and Caps to try and defend against the onslaught of TES. I think it's probably just going to be inhibitor towers here, because the death timers are actually fairly short this early on still.
But it's 30 minutes, and it's a 9K difference. It's sole point for TES, 1 minute and 30 seconds till they have Chemtech. Chemtech with the Jarvan and the Renekton who are diving in. It's not the ideal soul, but they're going to get a lot of value out of it. And now Baron, no one to contest, 8 seconds on SkewMond. No long-range tools for a hope of a miracle steal. It'll be another Baron for top esports.
All right, so they start out. They're actually going to, Caps and BrokenBlade are going to force Creme out of this fight. Caps goes with the Flash Charm onto Creme, into BrokenBlade's lockup on the left side of the fight. But on the right side of the fight, Drakos, fengyue came in, got the triple with the ult again, as TES were in the brawl already. So they were heavily already winning that right side of the fight. As the double solo laners of G2, they were trying to go for Creme and take down that Aurora, cut down on his Medjai stacks. But guess what? All they got was his flash. They didn't actually convert the kill onto him, so they didn't take down any of the pages, and the rest of the squad dying over on the other side.
And that is a complete book. That is a novel on how to dismantle G2 Esports. Tian continuing to run forward between worlds, popped, fengyue going over the wall, another 3-man! This man is making a montage! TES obliterate G2 again. It was not a fluke. It's starting to feel unquestionable. TES dominance from start to finish.
fengyue showing him the way back to the fountain there very quickly with his Neeko, and TES with an emphatic victory in game number 2 here. Drakos, is it our fault? I thought we were the chosen ones to end the 3-0s.
I don't know. I don't know whose fault it is, but I can tell you right now that ZUIAN is determined to keep the 3-0s going. fengyue is determined.